Yeah. Um, I want to talk about mediumship and spirituality and life in general and how you can deviate off your spiritual pathway and find it very, very hard to get back onto it, like I am. My name is Joyce, by the way. I do have a page on TikTok and Facebook and that. And about 10, 12 years ago, maybe more, I used to do readings, spiritual readings or mediumship readings. And I was good, I had people coming back and I was bad with some readings. It just did not gel with some people. Some people didn't like it. They weren't happy. Happens to the best of us that we're not always the right fit or the right match for our people. So um I was unemployed about, oh God, 10, 12, maybe 13 years ago. And I was living in my late uncle's house and wasn't doing the readings from there, but I was unemployed as well. And um, that didn't work either because having to pay bills and stuff like that, you got desperate. You needed the money. And I was expecting and hoping that the readings would be enough to come in that I could do readings and have enough money. And it didn't work that way. And I was also getting very tired. I was getting very kind of burnt out from the readings as well, because you'd be getting people saying, "Oh yeah, I'll book with you," and I'd always kind of go, "Are we still going ahead?" And then they'd let you down. I'd advertise on Facebook, and say to people, "If you need me for a reading, contact me," and they wouldn't. And then you had to be careful because, like, the government here in Ireland were cutting down on people doing grinds and readings and stuff like that, especially if you advertise them. So I was getting pretty desperate. Not desperate, but I was getting very, I kind of want to say fed up with the readings. I also was going through a phase of still single. I was in my 40s, just me and my dog, and desperate for love, I suppose, but not fully knowing who I was at the time. And, wanting to find a guy and settle down, and that didn't happen. And I'm still looking for a man to settle down with, but hey. But anyway, I just got burnt out. I got burnt out a lot with life and with different things. And being a woman in my 40s, things started changing, and I was going through perimenopause. And men are probably, and people out there are going, "Go, here we go, menopause again." But it's what happens. It's a fact of life. So then I just went through this phase of not wanting to do readings at all. And I'd been looking for work. I was working in different places, like I was working in DPH and DPH. Yeah. No, no, no. Sorry, I tell a lie. Sorry, DHL. I was working in DHL and severely bullied. I ended up losing my job there, which I was glad because I hate the place. But anyway, I wasn't doing readings then. I had to move back home to my parents' house. Not their fault. It just was circumstances that happened. Wasn't the reason why I wasn't doing readings either. And then I had done Christmas working on Post, the Irish Postal Service, since 2012. And I was kept on 2019 and made permanent in 2021. So I just went to stage, said, "I'm not doing readings anymore." People were texting me, "You didn't know. When will you be?" No. And it's like, the way it was I'd had a few readings that weren't good. And the reason I was doing them was because I needed the money to pay bills and buy food and whatever. Even though I was getting social welfare, it wasn't enough to live on. So I always said, if that came about that I was just doing the readings for the money, then it wasn't worth doing it, and I stopped. And I didn't trust myself, in the sense, it's easy to say, "Oh, spirit got it wrong," and I didn't trust spirit. No, I didn't trust what spirit gave me. And that's the honest to God truth with it. they'd say like, tell this person that the month of May is a birthday, or, something to do with the end of May. And I go, well, they're saying that June or something. And and it wasn't deliberate. It was just, I don't know if that May thing is a good one, but it just would be sort of, um, what's the word? I just wasn't fully trusting what they were getting, because when I did trust and I did get it, I was, they were very, very happy with the readings. And I'm not blowing my own trumpet here saying I was fantastic, but I was good. I am a good medium. So anyway, got a full-time job then in An Post, and anything spiritual went by the wayside because money was coming in, and I could go kind of breathe a little bit and go, right, I have money. And I missed spirit. I did. I missed it. But I just went through this phase. And I'm wondering if other mediums have done it. And not just the ladies, some of the men as well, like that are mediums. Have you gone through the stage of giving up on it and walking away and then trying to get back into it? And spirit have said to me, and the angels have said to me, we've never left you, Joyce. And we know you didn't leave us. But they knew that I needed to sit down and just chill out and not be burnt out anymore. So then I had like a pretty bad year in 2022, lost my dog, had to have a hysterectomy, which put me full straight into menopause because everything was taken. And then my aunt died that I was very, very close to. And I know she's in a fantastic place. She's very happy. And I felt like no matter how much I tried to meditate, couldn't get anything. And I just was like, you know what, I'm not doing this. I can't do this. But lately I'm feeling a sort of pull to do it. Not just readings, but more so working with spirit, or with the angels as well as spirit. And last year I was out sick again because I ended up getting 2 hernias from my job. And as a birthday present from a cousin of mine, I was given a Reiki session from a woman I'd never been to before. And I met her and I was nice, and I thought, okay, I can be flaky, but thought she was not flaky, but lovely. And I was like, don't know if this is going to work and whatever, even though like I've had healings before. Well, I don't know what that woman did, but she opened me up big time, and it was fantastic. I remember lying on the bed and my eyes were closed and seeing a flash of green light, which I knew that was Archangel Raphael. And then over the days, I started feeling spirit very, very close to me, like a female. Not anyone that I know, but it just felt like it might have been a spirit guide or female angel. And I got the impression that this one was very grand and very like, well, if I don't see you now, it'll be, this kind of like, oh yeah, kind of energy with her. And I didn't go back to work till August, so I was off for 4 months. And I remember, it might have been sooner than that I actually had the Reiki, but look, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, I was here at home, and I have security cameras outside. I live in an apartment, and there's an apartment above me. So it's a house where, there's an apartment upstairs and I'm here. We have to share the same hall door. But the reason I got cameras in was because I had a previous car that the window was broken in it. So, and then it happened again last year. So anyway, my doorbell rang, went out, nobody there, went look and see the kids go running, and I had the window open. So I didn't hear anyone, coming to the window because the TV wasn't on. I just was like, I sometimes just sit in silence and I like it, and sometimes I listen to music and whatever. So I said, and the bell when you rang was like, zzz, the box there is behind me. It's just sort of there on the wall. I don't know if you can see it just up there. That's my doggy. Oh, that's my doggy Angel that passed. That was still making a buzzing sound. So it's like when someone presses a bell really, really tight and it just... So that's what it was doing. So I went out and looked and tried to fix the bell. Wouldn't work. So I came back in here and fixed it. And I thought, So who was that did that? Because they got away too quickly. So I went back on because luckily I looked at the my watch, and it had said it was, I think, 9:15 or 9 o'clock. So when the bell rang, so excuse me, I went back through the tape, and I sat there for half an hour going through the whole tape. proper date and time and everything. Nobody rang the bell. Nobody rang the bell. I'm like, right, okay. Looked again. Said maybe go back a bit more, because sometimes with the tapes, for whatever reason, when it's recording, sometimes the time can be wrong. It can be an hour ahead or an hour behind, and I did all that. Nobody. So, right, okay, that's interesting. And then the next day, I was lying on the sofa, and I'd kind of drifted into a bit of a sleep. And I was aware that someone was standing at the sofa here, because the way this is like my kitchen is here and my sitting room, it's open plan. And as I was lying down, I could hear someone whisper to me, but I don't know what they were saying. But I got into my shoulder. I opened my eyes and there was nobody there. I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm really liking this. And then it was before August, I remember now, because I hadn't been able to meditate in a very, very long time. So I said, right, I'm going to try meditating. And I was lying there, and all of a sudden, there's this beautiful field in front of me. And it looks like it's kind of coming to sort of dusk, but not dusk. And instead of it being like sunlight, it was like gold. That's the only way. It's like a gold that was coming down. And I have to preface this also by saying that my cousin had died a few weeks previously. She had died on the 5th of July. She passed with ovarian cancer, and she hadn't been happy about it. Obviously, you know, she was angry about her passing and whatever. But I was aware of her walking in the field with flowers, and it was like, and you know, walking and putting her hands along them, and I could just see the bottom half of her, and I knew it was her. And I thought, wow. And then there was like a railings or a fence, and my aunt was there. And both my aunt and my cousin are both named Anne, but they're not related to each other. Anne, my cousin that died, is on my dad's side, and Anne, my aunt that died, is my mum's sister. And I could see her as clear as anything. I look like her apparently as well. And she's about my height. I'm 5'2", 5'3". And she's standing there, leaning on the thing like this. And I could see her hand, and she had tissue in her hand. And she always had tissue in her hand. And she's in a red top like what I have, and black trousers on her. And she's leaning up against, and I said, Anne. She said, yeah, it's me. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. And this was so bloody clear, so clear. And she was talking to me, and she put her hand out, and she had like €100 and €250. No, she said, that's for your ma's birthday and your birthday, because both my mom and my birthday's in July. And I just, well, how are you? Are you okay? And she said, I'm fine. I'm brilliant. And she said there was no pain. She said, I ran back into Paul's arms. That was her son, who died a few years previously. She was never the same after he died. He died very suddenly of an aneurysm. And I said, like, and this is how I was. I was like, even though I've done mediumship and readings and stuff, and this was just so bloody clear. And I said, how are you? Like, I just kept saying, how are you? How are you? She said, I'm great. I'm really, really, really happy here in the spirit world, Joyce. And it's everything that you said. And it's everything I thought it would be. And she said, I have no more pain, because that woman suffered. She suffered with diabetes and losing her sight and, you know, COPD. And she looked so happy. Still the same, kind of a little bit plump, but that's how she came towards me. And I remember being so fascinated. And then her son, my cousin Paul, came forward, and I said, Jesus, Paul, I said, you're looking great. And he said, thanks. I said, how are you? And he said, I'm okay. He said, this is the best thing that could have happened to me. I know not a lot of people like to hear that, but he said, there was no pain. He said, I felt nothing. He said, thank you for looking after my mum after I died. He said, I know you and Imelda, which is my mum, brought her here, there and everywhere, and looked after her, and the others as well. And this was just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And it was so clear. And I said to Anne, I said, I'm not allowed past this gate, am I? And she said, no. We have to talk here. I don't fully remember everything that was said. I think I just was so in awe because it was so clear. And I wasn't asleep because I could hear people outside walking, by, and the neighbours and whatever walking by. I could feel all that and hear all of that. And I can still see it. Still see it to this day. See that? God, it looked like a field of wheat, but it wasn't. It was like kind of tall, but it was a gold, kind of like a goldy colour. And it was fascinating. And I absolutely loved it. And I've had a few little things since then, but then unfortunately I had to go back to work because my meditation was getting really, really good. My intuition was starting to get back again and get really, really strong. People would say, look, I know you don't do it, but could you try this, this, this? And I do it. And they'd be like, oh my God, you haven't lost, you still have it. And then I had to go back to work, as I said, and I working full time. And it kind of felt like I lost it. And I feel like I've lost it again. And I know that I have to work with angels. I will be probably working with spirit again, but maybe not through readings. I don't know yet. But I miss it. I miss that connection that I had with spirit. I miss that feeling in my intuition, that feeling in my stomach of spirit are close and whatever. And I really miss it. The menopause I had to have, as I said, hysterectomy, and it was a complete hysterectomy. Everything was taken. And next day I was in menopause. And it's not helped. Menopause is not good. It's not good for the soul. It's not good for the body and whatever. But we manage and we try and get through it. I know people are sometimes, wish she'd shut up about it, but it's hard. It's hard to go through. And I'll talk about that in a separate thing. But I've asked my angel to be with me, and he's always there. And he's made himself known to me. And I see the colour lights that he gives me. And I would really love to just start getting into work with him. And I've been told by mediums, 2 or 3 different mediums, that I will start working again for spirit and the universe and God and the angels. And I would really love to work with Ariam again. That's my angel. And I'm just hoping that it's soon, but I'm just finding it really hard. I'm struggling to sometimes keep my mental health going because I'm just not happy in my job at the moment. When am I ever? But there's so much toxicity in my job that it's hard to not allow yourself to fall into the bitching, and I try not to, and it's no excuse either, but it's not easy. It's really, really not easy. But if I had my way, I'd work part-time. And if I had money in the bank, like a lot of people, and not have to worry about money, I would give up my job and service and give up myself to service to spirit and the angels. Because that's where I know work-wise my happiness lies. I am the only one that can make my own happiness. No one else can do it but me. And I do feel happy in myself in certain ways. I know that's probably contradiction saying, but yeah, you're going through menopause. Yes, I am. But I've accepted myself more now. As I said, and I don't know if I did say it because brain fog, with menopause is like doing the readings before. I didn't trust what spirit gave me. And it wasn't I didn't trust spirit. I didn't trust me. And I'm learning to trust now. And I don't know if it's too late. I really don't. I don't think it is. I'm still young. I'm in my 50s. But I'm hoping that I can break through this barrier or whatever this is that I've put up that I can't seem to break through at the moment. That's stopping me from meditating. I just can't seem to break through it. I didn't want to go back to work last year. I didn't want to go back when I did. I was out for 4 months. If I'd have been able to have more time off, I'd have taken it, but my sick pay ran out because of the year before and other stuff that went on with work. So if I go sick now, I have no money. I went sick for 2 days there, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I had to pay the consequences, but I had to do it. And I'm at the age now where I just want peace in my life. I want peace when it comes to my working life. And I know my working life is to service and to work for spirit and the angels and the universe and God. And I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form. I don't, put anyone down for their religious belief, but don't start preaching to me because I won't preach to you. But I know the happiness and the sense of fulfillment will come along when I am able to get back in, but I just don't know how to break through. And I'm not asking this, talking about this for sympathy or accolades or anything like that. I'm just asking, especially other people that have been through mediumship or doing it, and have you had this? Have you walked away before? Have you, had what a lot of people call the dark night of the soul? I think we've all had them, but I never intended for my hiatus from working with spirit to be as long as it was. I remember throwing away the key and trying to find that key now when I closed the door is like, oh fuck, shouldn't have done that, And I know it's so easy, like people say it's easy, do this, do this. I just find it very hard, and I have to say that, and yes, I know it's going to be, well, here we go. Menopause doesn't help. It's not helping me. I'm going through a bad menopause at the moment. So do I need to wait a little bit more? I really don't know. But I am at that stage now where I need to do something spiritual. And I don't know what to do. And I know I'm probably rambling now at this moment in time, but it is just very much, I don't know, it's about getting stuff off my chest. If it's about, me just trying to find a way to get back into it, I really don't know how to. No matter what I try with meditation, this mind does not sit still. Never did. I was never great with meditation, but it was always very, very, I was getting there. And I remember when I was in my 20s, I think it was 2002, and it was Halloween. And I worked in an office, and so I had the evenings to myself. And I remember meditating, and I had music playing, and I was loving it. The candle was playing, the music, and it just was feeling brilliant. And I was seeing all these lovely colors. It was like the color of a candle flame, but with rainbow colors in it. It was so beautiful. And I remember sitting on my bed, and I was like, knees crossed, or, and sitting in a lotus position and just sitting there. And my eyes were closed, but I just saw these hands coming down like this, coming down, and love coming from it. And that I could see their robes like this hanging down. And I brought myself out of it. I was so annoyed. I'll always remember that, because I wish that's where I could get back to. I wish I could get back to that point again where I knew and could feel so strongly that they were there. I always remember that. I know it was 10 o'clock at night. I remember it really, really well. And I kicked myself for ages because of it, because it was like, because when I work with spirit, I don't see them as a person standing beside you. It's like a picture that has the face fuzzed out, or it's a blurry picture. That's how I see spirit when I'm working with them. So I really don't know. I'm probably done with waffling on. I feel a little bit better for getting that off my chest now. So I really hope I can find my way again. I know that the angels are there to take my hands. I just can't feel them. But I just hope that it gets easier for me, because I miss it so much. I miss working with spirit. I miss talking to them and you know, feeling the angels around me and stuff. I used to feel them. So I don't know. But look, I've no idea why I said this. I've no idea if I'll even ever post this. But it's just something that I've wanted to get off my chest today, and I'm hoping something comes along that makes it easier for me to meditate, but my job's not helping at the moment. I am currently on 2 weeks holidays. I'm coming up onto my second week, and I do shift work, so I do 2 to 10, and then I probably will, it's changing now, I may have to do a twilight shift, which is till 2 in the morning. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking. I don't know what I'm asking Spirit or the angels, or I suppose a miracle of some sort would be fantastic, but what can you do? I keep looking there because my window's there, you know, where neighbors are walking by, so not that it matters. But anyway, thank you for taking your time to listen to me. If you watch this, I don't know what way you take me. I don't really care. I just want to get back onto my pathway, and I don't know how to do it. I think that's it. So I shall say goodbye for now. It is the 8th of June, 2025, and it's now 10 to 6. So I always put timestamp on it. So I hope everyone is well. I hope the angels and Spirit look after you and keep you safe. Talk to your guides and talk to your angels. Even if you think you're just talking to yourself, you're not. They're hearing you, they're listening to you, as are your family from the spirit world. And it doesn't matter if you've never spoken to them before. They are there to work with you. They were assigned to you before you came here. And with your angel, you were assigned over many, 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 many lifetimes. That's probably your true bestie. But talk to them. The dead aren't dead. It's just the body, the physical body is gone. The spirit lives on and has gone to a wonderful place, unless they were a horrible person. But please know that they're there. They're with you. They want you to know they're happy. And they want you to be happy and to live your life. That's not easy when you're grieving. So I'm going to leave it before I start going on and on and on again, because I have stuff to do. But I hope that your day and your month and the rest of your year goes well. And I hope you connect with your guides and your angels. Even if you don't do this work at all, just talk to them. If you have religion in your heart, that's the way off you go, and that's fine. Just don't preach to others that don't want to hear it. Simple as. But yeah, for me, my religion is spirituality, if you want to call it that. This is my religion. My belief is Spirit and the angels. So I'll shut up for now, and I shall talk to you another time. See you now. Bye-bye.